Iowa's offense was dreadful, to put it kindly, in their opener against South Dakota State. Now they got to play one of their biggest rivals in Iowa State, which looked pretty good in week one. How do the Hawkeyes respond going into their game against the Cyclones? Let's preview Iowa and Iowa State. Before we get into the preview for the battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy, just a reminder, hit subscribe, ring the bell to stay notified. If you love the B1G, this channel right here is the place to be. Dreadful, terrible, bad, ugly. All words you could use to describe Iowa's 7-3 victory over South Dakota State. And unfortunately, Hawkeye fans, it doesn't get a whole lot better. Let's get into it, okay? Keegan Johnson, Nico Reganey, not on the depth chart coming into this week against Iowa State, which means they're likely not to see those two guys, your top two receivers, play against the Cyclones. So what does that mean for Iowa? Watching back the tape on that game against South Dakota State, you see a lot of formations where Sam Laporta, that tight end, their great tight end, is split out wide, and he's their main target. Sam Laporta is not meant to be their main target. That is split out wide. Luke Lachey, they love him as the backup tight end that can slide in to Sam's spot on the offensive line, just to the left or right of their offensive tackles. But they're in a situation where they're patching things together. Injuries early in the season have hurt them, and going from fall camp into the season have really plagued this Iowa team. And this was not really a good offensive team. And I'm watching back more of their tape, and I'm looking at their offensive line. Young offensive line, patching some holes up in there. Their pass protection is not that great. The Jackrabbits were able to get in there and disrupt Spencer Petras, and the run blocking was okay. So now I look into this game against Iowa State. Okay, if you're an Iowa fan, if you're a Big Ten fan, I guess no matter who you're a fan of, you might look into this game and say, okay, no Brock Purdy, no Breece Hall, we should have a good time. The black and gold should have a good time. That's not the case. Went back, look at the tape of their game against Southeast Missouri State, and I like what I saw. Hunter Deckers, the quarterback, looks comfortable, he looks confident, and he looks accurate, and he's got one of the best receivers that Iowa may face and see all year long, and that's Xavier Hutchinson. Had a really good game, 3 touchdowns in the first half against Southeast Missouri State. He's got a couple of other guys around him, Darren Wilson and Sean Shaw, so not all of the energy and focus can be on Xavier Hutchinson. You need to worry about these other guys as well. The running game is not going to be that great. So if I'm the Iowa Hawkeyes, I'm coming into this game, I've got to make Hunter Deckers feel uncomfortable. I'm watching this game against Southeast Missouri State. He's hanging back there in the pocket, dart after dart after dart after dart. And this Iowa defense, you know this Hawkeye defense is going to get after him. And you know this is going to be a big-time challenge for Iowa State. Okay? But it kind of circles back to what I talked about of my video earlier in the week, talking about the concern that Iowa fans should have. Okay, if you have an offense that can't move the football and is inefficient, and I've seen nothing, and I know of nothing, with both Reganey and Johnson both out in this game, I see nothing that tells me that Iowa is going to prove offensively, especially taking on a better defense in Iowa State. So that's going to put a lot of stress, that's going to put a lot of pressure on that Iowa defense to pitch another perfect game kind of deal, like they did early in the season last year, heck, like they did against Iowa State a year ago. This was a close game between the Cyclones and the Hawkeyes until turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover on that defense. They forced 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions in that game. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of pressure, a lot of stress is going to be on that Iowa defense. If I'm Iowa State, the main thing that I'm Matt Campbell writing on the board this week, protect the ball. The ball is the program, right? That's what you've got to be preaching your kids this week. Because you look at last year's game, you don't turn the football over, and who knows? Maybe you come out on top in that game. Spencer Petras and Iowa didn't have a great game offensively in that game. I don't think Iowa's gonna have a great game offensively, and I want Iowa to do good, especially in a non-conference matchup for your boy, Big Ten Ted. But if I'm looking at this thing objectively, I see some good things in the passing game at Iowa State. That's going to be a very interesting matchup. I want to see Riley Moss and Xavier Hutchinson, go head-to-head. That is going to be an awesome matchup to watch all afternoon long. But if Iowa wants to get the win, look, you're not going to get 7-3. This is an Iowa State offense that's going to be able to do some things. They're going to be able to move the ball. You're not going to win 7-3. Your offense is going to need something. Torrey Taylor is going to have to pin multiple punts inside the 10. They're going to have to play Iowa football, and you better hope you turn it over a lot against Iowa State, because right now that Iowa offense just has not shown that they have the capability to do things. I don't know if they're going to score 20 points. Could they win 17-14? Sure they could. It's going to be a very, very interesting afternoon. It's going to be a big-time challenge, I think, for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I want to know what you guys think about this matchup. Hawks and Cyclones should be a great matchup. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who you think is going to come out on top. Make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I am the aforementioned Big Ten Ted, and we're going to see you in the next one.